Hello and welcome to day 7 of Jimbo's Advent Calendar. We're creeping steadily closer to Christmas, now only 18 sleeps away. Now before we get started with today's Christmas item, I just want to give a few shout outs because we've had a few comments on the videos that we've done recently. First of all, Emma Wilson and your little one Harry got in touch and they want to point out that they've got the same Advent Calendar as me, which is this Toy Story one which I revealed in episode 5, I think it was, day 5. So yeah, they've got the same Advent Calendar as me, and yes, it was from Asda. Actually got it cheap, it were 50p. The reason behind that is that the numbers on them are Roman numerals, and so it's been an absolute nightmare trying to work out which ones are which. You know, I'm not very good at my Roman numerals, but anyway. The other shout out goes to Helen, who's been watching all our videos. Hello to Helen. She has actually got a Twilight calendar. Obviously the teenage vampire film Twilight. She's got the Advent calendar for that. To be honest, it's fantastic. I can't think of anything more Christmassy than two teenage vampires sucking the blood out of each other. Anyway, the Christmas item today then, actually before we move on, if you do want to leave a comment or anything, you know, that's great. Leave a comment on the bottom of the video or on the website iamjimbo.co.uk, anything like that, because, you know, it's your chance to get a mention. This goes out to all of my 10 friends on Facebook. That includes my mum, my dad, my grandma. I'm only joking. My grandma's not really on Facebook, but she's on a different social networking site, which she says I'm not allowed to go on. She's actually friends on there with, you know, Katie Weasel, or Katie Weasel off the X Factor. Yeah, my grandma's actually friends with her nanan on that different website. I'm not sure what it is. She's also friends with Wayne Rooney, funny enough. Anyway, then let's move on. The Christmas item today is the Christmas lights, which are on my tree here. Christmas lights are on trees, they're on windows in your house, they're on the streets, and they're in the city centre. Now, around this time of the year, lots of celebrities are going around turning Christmas lights on in various different cities. It's kind of a PR stunt and a way of getting them, you know, on the telly and in front of big crowds and things like that. And Sheffield, as every year, you know, worked really hard on their Christmas lights, lots of different colours and decorations. Worked really hard on the range of colours and decorations that they had on the streets for the Christmas lights. So they obviously wanted somebody, you know, nice and famous to turn them on. So they considered, you know, sort of different people. The first one that they considered was Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg. Now, the reason they didn't choose him, apparently, was because they were worried he were going to turn them on, but then turn them straight back off to save electricity on the bill and everything like that. So that's why they didn't choose him. Then they considered Jason Manford, but apparently a little bird told me that he had to pull out for some reason. Not sure why, pull out at the last minute. They then considered Nick Griffin, obviously the politician Nick Griffin, but apparently he didn't like the colours. Which obviously is a bit, you know, disappointing when Sheffield had worked so hard on the different colours of lights and the decorations on the streets and everything like that. So a little bit disappointing that. But in the end, they, well, you know, obviously glad they didn't pick him, but in the end they picked Joe McElderry, which is fantastic. So obviously he won the X Factor last year. I hope I've said his name right because I don't really watch the X Factor, well, not since Wagner left anyway. It's Wagner Louis. But yeah, it's not been as good as it really. But yeah, they chose him to put him on, Joe McElderry. He put the lights on, it was a big night, lots of crowds there and everything, really successful. But I'm a little bit disappointed that Sheffield City Council didn't come and ask me first, really. So I've got in touch with him and thought, you know, and asked him, you know, for day 7 of our Advent Calendar, would I be allowed to turn them on if you turn them back off again? So they said, yeah, they said they can organise that. So they've got all the crowds gathered there at the moment, and they've wired me up to the Christmas lights in Sheffield, which I can now switch back on. So it's fantastic. Don't forget to join me tomorrow. It's now only 18 sleeps till Christmas. Sheffield lights, 1, 2, 3.